My fellow Nerdicans, welcome back to another episode of the Jank Tank. Today we've got another deck profile video for you. It is the winning deck from our last video, and it is going to be Majin Vegeta. And I know everybody has really been loving this leader, myself included, because I'm excited that Vegeta has like a good leader. I was really excited for the Spirit Boost Vegeta archetype, and then they limited the Piccolo Unison, and as well as now we have Smoke Dragon, and that just kind of nukes that whole deck strategy. So, I mean, that is what it is. I'm super happy to have another Vegeta that fits my playstyle that I really enjoy playing. So, on the front side, draws a card on swing, awakens at 4 life, or if you have a Son Goku or Trunks, or is it just the Goku? Yeah, it's just the Goku. You get to restand 1, draw 1, and then flip over and go down to 5 life. Then once you're awakened, you still swing on draw, and then you also get the ability to tap down a well, the only one that's going to be relevant is the 4-drop Goku because I'm not running any of the Trunks. But yeah, running the 4-drop Goku to tap it down, to tap one of your opponent's battle cards down, which is just a really nice ability to have access to. And then it also has the activate battle that you can pop a life in order to be in your leader, give plus 5,000 for the remainder of the turn. And then I, like many other people, are not playing. I'm not playing a Unison in this deck because it really doesn't need a Unison, so I don't even bother. So we'll just get right into the battle card package. Starting off with 2 copies of Metacooler Infinite Terror. This is a really good counter if you are already a Z Awakened or if you have a Z battle card in play. He is a free counter. And then with Bond 2, is it Bond 2? Yeah, Bond 2, he gains Barrier and 5k, so he becomes a 15k body. So it's pretty good for your later game defensive plays, especially once you've already Z Awakened. And then the super combo we're running is 4 copies of Krillin because we do not own any. We do not own or have access to the Piccolo Gohan SCR, so that is not what we are running as the SCR. I will obviously let you know what the SCR is when we get there. And since we're not running a Unison, we have a bit more room for extra cards. And since this is yellow, having a little bit more extra cards is really good. And this is one of the reasons we're running 4 copies of Steadfast Ally. And he's really good because not only does he reduce his cost just like Robotic Riposte does, it's a counter play that the card being played gets played in rest mode. He replaces himself in hand, and he's a Goku that you can use with your leader to awaken if you haven't already awakened by the time you play one of him out. Because you don't always want to awaken by playing out the 4-drop. Sometimes you want to hold that 4-drop in your back pocket a little bit. Kind of like I explained in the gameplay video, because with the Majin Buu deck that I played, he can just steal my battle card. So that was a tough match. But like I was saying, there's a lot of extra cards in this deck. So we're also running 4 copies of Robotic Riposte because it's yellow, and we have the extra cards to necessitate it. So, I mean, there's no reason not to. And then we're running 2 copies of the Cooler Counter, just because it's really too good not to. And there's enough times where you just you want to make sure you're going to see him. So that's why we're running 2 copies. And then we're running 2 copies of Zarbon, Emperor's Attendant. I'm not too hype on this card. It is nice to have access to it, but I mean, it is what it is. I never really actually use it for its ability. Like I said, it is what it is. It'd be different if it could restand the card during your turn as well, instead of just on your opponent's turn, but still, it is what it is. And then we're running 1 copy of Poutine. I know Poutine has kind of fallen out of favor in a lot of people's builds, especially for like generic yellow. But with the leader's ability to just be able to rest things so easily, having a little bit of extra board control doesn't hurt. And a lot of times when people see Poutine hit the board, they'll focus their any sort of stronger removal in order to get Poutine off the board so they don't have to deal with her as much. Excuse me. I am still getting over a cold, so... Or, you know what, it could be allergies by now. Who knows? But we're running 4 copies of the Ultimate Duo Goku and Vegeta. It is a 20k double striker, KOs something on play, draws a card on play. Or does this one draw a card on play, or is that just the servant? Yeah, he doesn't draw a card on play. Yeah, I'm jumping the gun. It's just the servant Vegeta. But typically what I do is the first copy of this that I see, I will usually combo it off in order to get it into my Z energy. That way I constantly have access to these next cards' full abilities, because I'll have a Goku and a Vegeta in my Z energy. And I pretty much just pretend like I don't have a Z energy over there. But next card we're running is another part of the engine. Very, very crucial part of the engine is SS2 Son Goku Destined Battle. And that's because he is the Goku that you will be tapping down with your leader skill in order to tap down your opponent's cards. And also when he is tapped down by your leader skill, he draws you a card. And then at the beginning of your opponent's turn, he restands himself and gains blocker, as long as you have a Vegeta in your Z energy or on your board. And it's just much easier to get one of these into your Z energy than it is to keep one on your board. So I just, boom, like I said, charge one to Z energy and keep it in there, and you're good to go for the rest of the game for that for this Goku Destined Battle, as well as the Prince of Destruction Vegeta Destined Battle as well. He is a 15k with Servant, so he is inherently a 25k because of the Servant. And then plays out for one, just like the Goku does. And he draws a card on play. Sorry, I thought I felt the sneeze coming on. He draws a card on play, and when he swings, you get to KO something in rest mode. Does this one have an energy restriction? Yeah, this one has an energy restriction with an energy cost of 5. This one doesn't have an energy restriction. And when this one's played, it also negates the skills. I forgot to mention that. It negates the skills and then KOs a battle card in rest mode. And then if you have 3 or more energy, you get to he gains double strike as well when he swings. So he's 25k double strike with Servant, but that's not that big of a deal because you can restand him with the Zarbon, which I don't really do that often. Actually, like I said, not really ever. I usually restand him with the Goku Z battle card, but we'll talk about that card when we get there. We are running 3 copies of Super Saiyan Vegeta Overwhelming Might, just because it is another form of riposte, and it's fairly easy to have it live in this deck. Not super easy, which is why we're not running it at 4, but easy enough. And then we're running 2 copies of SS3 Son Goku Universe Stake. I actually haven't gotten the chance to use this card in a game yet, so when when he attacks, you get to choose one. Either switch one of your opponent's battle cards ignoring barrier to rest mode, or KO a battle card in rest mode. And he plays out for 2 if you have yellow Z leader or yellow Z battle card in play, and a limit 1 if all of your cards in your battle area are in rest mode. He can restand himself. Limit 1. And then the SCR that we are playing in this deck, I'm using a proxy because it is Tommy's SCR that I borrow. It is the Bardock Legends Origin, and it is a 40k double strike dual attacker that plays out for 3 energy in any Saiyan deck, and then if you remove him from the game, your opponent can only attack with battle cards once during their next turn. So it's a nice way to floodgate your opponent if you haven't quite got the setup for your kill turn yet. So we're going to go into the extra card package now. We're running 4 copies of Forest Fire. So what that does is when it's played, you get to search out a 4-cost Saiyan from your deck. So that's going to be any of these guys, whichever one you're missing at the time or need more at the time. And it also turns his ability on, because I forgot to mention that if you have a field card or just an extra card in your battle area, I think is what it says. Yeah, if you have a yellow extra card in your battle area, you get to draw a card when he's played. So if you have a Forest Fire in your battle area when you play him, you also get to draw a card. And then in order to be able to restand him, you get to be able to proc the auto to Forest Fire to send it to your drop area to get it out of the field. So essentially this becomes a 30k dual attacker. Just really good for the synergy of the deck. And then we're running 3 copies of Realm of the Gods Black Kamehameha, because it is just more extra cards to set up for these guys right here, as well as draw power and combo power to get you into those turns where you want to set up your kill turn. And then we're running 1 copy of Power of a Super Saiyan because it rests things, draws a card, pretty simple. 2 Tyrannical Blow to stop floodgates if I don't have the energy available for Cooler. 2 Time Magic just for any instance where I'm coming up against any dual attackers. Plus, it's just, in worst case scenario, it's a hard negate, so you can't really go wrong with that. And then 3 copies of Frieza's Army Reinforcements to round it out, just because, blocker negates are still really good. So going into the Z deck, it's a super simple Z deck because we're running one copy of the Z leader. It awakens for 2 Z energy when you're at 3 life, no regular energy cost, and now you can tap down any Goku or Trunks youth in order to get the draw off the leader ability. It no longer gets a draw on swing, so I mean that's a little unfortunate, but it does have this activate battle here that you can take yourself down to 1 life, and it gains 15,000 power and double strike for the turn. It is since it is an activate battle, you can do that defensively, but you never really want to do that defensively because once you get down to 1 life, you can't proc the ability again. But it also has a Z stack that when you play it, you get to play one of these Gokus underneath it. And the reason I'm running 3 copies of this Goku is because it's just that crucial to being able to restand the Vegeta. So what this Goku does is he can play out from underneath the leader for 1 yellow energy, and when it attacks, you get to choose 1 Prince of Destruction Vegeta, Destined Battle, restand it, and then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, KO it, and then this card gains 10,000 for 10,000 power for the battle, or was it the turn? I think it was the battle. Oh no, for the turn. So this becomes a 25k for the turn and allows your 25k double striker to swing again for the turn, as well as KOing a rest mode battle card on your opponent's side of the field. Just really, really good value, which is why we're running 3 copies. We're not running any copies of the Boo that came with the deck because we are running 3 copies of this Vegeta, because he is good barrier removal, just good removal in general, and if you end up removing a battle card in rest mode, he ends up gaining critical, and he's a 20k dual attacker, like, just really good. But that is the deck profile for my Majin Vegeta deck. If you like it, go ahead and smash that like button, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more gameplay and deck profiles, and stay